want to walk down a little bit? Okay. And then
Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Bailey Braun, and we're here covering the storm that has impacted across western Alaska. Joining us live, we have Melissa Frey out in Nome. So, Melissa, I'll take it over to you. What's happening over in Nome right now?
yeah, Bailey, as you can see, the wind is whipping. It just really started to ramp up here for the second time. Nome sort of getting a 1-2 punch because the center of the storm went directly over the west end here of Seward Peninsula. So we had winds overnight that were gusting up around 45 miles per hour. Kept us up overnight, even banging the windows a little bit, but not seeing any damage. Again, just about 45 miles per hour. Really a pretty typical fall storm for folks here in Nome. But we are now on the other side of the storm, which you can see is all really doing a number here on the Bering Sea. You can see those waves are whipping. We've seen a pretty dramatic shift from conditions that were relatively calm here last night. So the center of the storm moved overhead. It was kind of eerie, I have to tell you, Bailey, this morning because we had blue sky and sunshine. It was actually, I walked outside and go, oh, it's beautiful out here. But now that we have seen the other edge of the storm move this direction, we are definitely seeing that wind increasing, which these winds now should stay high out here for the next several hours. But it is the communities that are south of here that are really seeing the more significant impacts. I had people messaging me through the night really quite scared because of the amount of water in addition to those category 2 hurricane force winds, which you can see what I'm experiencing right here of about 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. Imagine winds that are about twice that on the southern edge here once you get down into the Kuskokwim Delta. So we do have some video for you. I actually talked with some folks down there. One woman woke up to her home floating down the river, actually taken off from its foundation. So Bailey, why don't you roll that story so they can hear from folks down in Kipnuk this morning. Category 2 hurricane force wind gusts whipped through western Alaska overnight. So far, though, it's the Kuskokwim Delta where the Bering Sea is being forced miles inland. In Kipnuk, Tamora Paul woke up to not only water in her home, but her entire house not where it used to be.
We went up the river, where we go berry picking and stuff.
I was able to reach her by phone Sunday morning.
I was sleeping during the storm, and I woke up to messages from my sister. She just said that my house was floating away.
Her family also lives nearby. Their house is floating as well. They think upriver.
We're good. We're scared, but we're good. I keep telling them we're breathing. We're still breathing. We're alive.
It's been a rough night, but they hope they find at least dry ground or someone to rescue them soon. And just to the north, the village of Chifornik is also under high water. You can see the water tearing through the village, taking anything with it as the high winds continue. And even further inland. That was a window shattered by flying debris at David Miller's home in a village just north of Bethel. He said he's lost his shed and likely more. Now, the sun is just rising in western Alaska, and the full impact of this former typhoon is yet to be seen, as high wind warnings and flood warnings continue through the day as the storm moves north. Melissa Frey, Alaska's news source.
Wow, Melissa, those impacts are absolutely insane, and I really hope that everybody out west is staying safe. Now, what else do you have to say about what's happening right now?
Yeah, I mean, you just heard from there how scary that situation is. Now, I just want to say I did speak with the National Guard just over an hour ago, and they tell me that they are actively in a search and rescue operation. They are sending folks there to help and protect these people. But you can see the elements are pretty rough to do so. So we will continue to check in with them, but they are aware of their location and hopefully getting them to safety. And that's just one of, I'm sure, dozens of stories similar to what you heard there. Now, we are standing here on Front Street. Well, there went my hat. This is where the Iditarod finishes. So this is a famous spot here in Nome, and you can see the winds just starting to ramp up. Now, fortunately, we have not had any significant damage or flooding here in Nome, but this is just the beginning of these higher winds. So this high wind warning is going to continue here through this evening, and we'll see that potential for some local flooding as we head here into the second half of the day. So there is that potential to see some flooding here along Front Street, but also as you head out the road down toward Council, that is where our officials are anticipating some additional damage that we could see again as we head through the night. So we're just at the beginning of it here in Nome. We're hoping that the impacts are nowhere as significant, but it is now getting hard to stand. I'm here with Freddie, our photographer, and both of us having a hard time standing out here, Bailey. So we're going to continue to check in with local officials here, find out if there are any impacts that we're seeing in the Norton Sound region. There was some concern about Golovin and Unalakleet. The winds are ramping up, but because this storm took a slightly more eastward track, the winds are not as extreme as they could have been, like what we saw in the Kuskokwim Delta this morning. But you can see this is still pretty extreme. So I know you're tracking the storm. We're going to be back out here live at 5 o'clock here this evening. We do hope you stay tuned right here to Alaska's News Source for any additional information as that gets in. We'll make sure it's getting out to our viewers so that you have everything you need to know to stay safe. Bailey?
Yeah, thank you so much, Melissa. Make sure that you guys are staying as safe as you're able to. Yeah, I do also have that track for the rest of the storm and what we can expect moving forward. So I'll just show you right now with some of our graphics, kind of what's happening. You can already see we continue to have all of those storm warnings, including winter storm warnings, which involves heavy snow, as well as the hurricane force wind warning, which is still active, and that's going to remain active through tonight, as well as that storm warning moving across the western coast of Alaska. So we have a lot happening right now, and you can already see the track so far this afternoon. It has moved across Nome, so as Melissa was just saying, most of it is already starting to pass the Seward Peninsula, and then approaching Monday, that's when that storm is really going to finally taper off and move out of Alaska. So unfortunately, those impacts are very significant, and they have caused a lot of damage, and I'm really hoping that people are still able to stay safe during this time, but just be aware that those storm surges are going to continue moving into Monday. So it's not over just yet. You need to remain cautious moving in over tonight and tomorrow especially. But these water heights have definitely receded just slightly. In Kotzebue, it was about 3 to 7 feet. Now it's 3 to 5 feet. Nome has also receded just slightly, and Wales has also receded a little bit. So the water levels are starting to go down just a little bit, but as I mentioned, this is still going to continue through Monday, so it's important to stay aware and just to keep that cautious attitude and cautious approach as you have been having so far through this storm. Now, of course, stay updated with all of our weather alerts that we're able to get from the storm with our Alaska's Weather Source app. And as Melissa had mentioned, we're going to be live at 5 talking more about the storm, and Melissa will have more live coverage, so make sure that you stay tuned and please stay safe if you're in those areas.